Good morning.
And I introduced myself in the car
Yes.
over as Brad. I'm a supervisor here in Chicago. Jeff and I work together. And we would love to ask you some questions. But before we do that, I'd like to go over your rights. And I want you to make sure that you stop me, ask questions. I want you to make sure that you understand exactly what these rights are. And after that, we'll make a decision if you'd like to talk to us or not. Okay. Before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. We went over that. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You understand that? Okay. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. You also have the right for the lawyer to be here present with you during any questioning.
Okay.
Understand that? Okay. Any questions on that?
Well, let me listen to the rights and then...
Okay, sure.
So I don't have the attorney here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you would like to have an attorney, you can have an attorney here.
Okay.
And if you can't afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you before any questioning, if you wish. And this is probably the most important right. If you decide to answer any questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering questions at any time. So if you want to answer one question and say, you stop, I want a lawyer, that is your right. Now, do you understand those as I describe them to you? I also want you to take a look at this and read them for yourself.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Having said that, would you agree to talk to us this morning?
Yes.
You would? Thank you for that. I very much appreciate it. I'm going to need you to sign this, though. Okay. So I'm going to let you look at that right there. And feel free to review the document. We're going to sign it as well.
We're going to talk about David Headley.
Yes. One day he said that he was talking to this Ilyas Kashmiri guy. Mm-hmm. And he said, in our language, first they make a statement, and then he says, did you get that?
Okay.
I said, this guy is a ranker.
What does that mean?
It means he was in military, some sepoy. In Pakistan there is a class system.
Okay.
You have officers and then you have people who come as lower level things. Mm-hmm. I said, this guy is a ranker. It means he was a sepoy in army.
Okay.
And he says, no, not at all. I said, what you are talking about is somebody who thinks other person is, needs to get into the bones and all that. And he then called me after this incident. Mm-hmm. He said, you were right. And I believe your understanding of the world, that it is written in the newspaper that he was a ranker. But the guy, Iqbal, Major Iqbal, mm-hmm. was the one he is mentioning that he was in touch with this David. And then he mentions about there is a Jamaat-ud-Dawa.
Jamaat-ud-Dawa? Okay.
He mentions friendship with Jamaat-ud-Dawa.
Who mentioned that?
David.
Okay. Tell me about Jamaat-ud-Dawa.
I just hear from these guys that there is a guy, the name was something else before. They changed the name from Lashkar-e-Taiba, I guess. They changed, they used to be Lashkar-e-Taiba.
Okay.
United States stand that organization.
Okay.
And then they changed to, or maybe there's another organization, but since I don't read all that, but I do understand either they all moved here or there was already an organization and this organization is banned, but I would understand that they just, from there.
So you understand they're the same thing, just a different name?
I mean, please do remember that I neither have time to go there, meet them, investigate them,
Right.
but from the media, what you see looks like, the ban, you move to this one.
Okay. Has he discussed other training that he received with Lashkar?
I mean, other means what?
Like I said, we're trying to understand what other activities he was involved in with Lashkar-e-Taiba.
He would mention that sittings with them, talking emotionally about Kashmir and other things, but he would say that I had this training also. I don't specifically remember that I would say, but there's nothing in which I could learn for myself, because if he fell in something, or if he did very well, or if he got a gold medal, really doesn't affect me.
Right.
Somebody's a friend who he loves dogs. I don't know. He tells me I have a dog. I have Tyson, or it's like this. I say okay. It's my this and this. I say okay. He makes those stories and tell and with a lot of love and passion. I said, oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. So he's talked a lot about them.
And just see, if we are sitting, we have to be talking hours and hours. But I wouldn't be, when I said I want to make a movie, so I said, okay, I'm going to get you this. I said, no, you are a good hero. I would like that you be the hero. You're a handsome boy. Why not to do that? I said, no. There is another guy in India. And he expect me that, I launch him as a, hero.
Okay.
So then I say, who should be the heroine? Then we talk to all our family members, and I call people for food, and I go to, and then this is, who should be then the heroine? Okay, then this should be the girl. I mean, friends are talking, loose talk, good talk, bad talk, yeah. But I don't specifically would say, at this very day he did some training.
Okay. I just want to kind of summarize some of the things here.
Yes.
We know that David has spent time with Lashkar, Jamaat-ud-Dawa,
Yes.
for at least a couple of years, maybe as many as 5 or 6 years.
According to him,
Right.
he is affiliated with them.
Right. And we'll just say, we understand he told you that.
He said.
Right. And you're estimating at least 5 or 6 years.
At least having a contact with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's received some training with them, physical training that we know of.
He mentioned that he was running around and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever talk about guns or weapons when he talked about that?
No guns.
No?
But obviously, it's a freedom fight in Kashmir. I think he said ISI gives them the weapons.
Okay. So he has talked about ISI and giving weapons.
Yeah, he has mentioned that at one, hold on.
Okay.
When he says, when they about to enter into India.
Okay.
So at that very moment when they say bye-bye to each other, ISI at that time gives them, guns.
Did David ever talk about being trained on weapons by ISI or by any of these groups?
He did not mention that.
Okay.
I don't recall that but if he says he has a training, I would assume that he should have the other training also.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we also know that David has met Ilyas Kashmiri.
Yes.
Ilyas Kashmiri is the leader of the Azad chapter of Harakat al-Jihad Islami.
According to what his talk,
right.
according to the paper talk he mentions and all that, so if he says that, I have met 1, 2, 3, he has mentioned, and I also remark that he's a ranker.
Right. And when you discuss that.
Yeah.
So we know David is involved with at least 2 groups now that are involved in the Kashmir issue.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Right.
according
And 2
to...
freedom fighters, 2 groups that are involved in freedom fighting.
Now, having met, if you want me to, from the legal discussion point of view, I cannot say he is met, that means he's, that member of that or something.
Right.
But I do remember his affiliations with ISI and Lashkar
Okay.
or Jamaat-ud-Dawa.
Right.
But I cannot say that he's,
Well, what did David do for ISI? You said he's affiliated with ISI. What did he do for them?
according to him, he meets with them.
Okay.
And they were talking about these people, Lashkar, what they do and all that stuff.
Okay.
And he's a kind of a link between those two people or something of those effects.
Do you say other things he did for ISI?
Nothing in detail, but he mentions that he is helping both the organizations, and they ask him what they are doing. They ask him something. Probably Lashkar doesn't know that he is with ISI.
Okay. And
Probably.
Who is his contact with ISI? Did you mention that name?
Major Iqbal.
Have you ever talked to Major Iqbal?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Well, tell me about that.
He called me, sir, and I was a captain when I deserted Pakistan Army.
Okay.
And it was a little hard for me to call him sir because that's
I understand.
Yeah. And,
I was in the Navy, so I know who that is. I can appreciate
yeah,
that.
and I said, okay, so if he wants to be junior, then okay, then I'll say, what I say? I called him Bala, I think. His nickname for Iqbal is Bala.
Okay.
I said, Balaji, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he was saying that if you could help my friend get back to Pakistan, that I can go back to Pakistan because I was a deserter.
Okay.
And
by friend you meant David?
David.
Okay, right.
David was asking Iqbal to help me get back to Pakistan.
Say that again. I'm sure I understand that.
Okay. Since I deserted,
Right.
they think that I want to come back to Pakistan.
Okay.
And for the business purposes, ironic is I can go to immigration to India, but I cannot have an office in my own country.
Okay.
So now, if I can go back to Pakistan to set up offices or businesses, so he said ISI could, ask to forgive you, and I said, my friends are generals.
Okay.
I can ask for this favor, but they say there will be a court of inquiry, there will be all that, and 2 years will be gone. Iqbal, ISI he wanted ISI to help me get back to Pakistan.
David wanted ISI to help you get back to Pakistan.
Right, so that if they give me a forgiveness, if I go back, they will have a court of inquiry and all that.
Okay.
If I plead guilty that I made a mistake, they will dismiss that, and then they might say, okay, get out of here and we are fine. So I am not guilty, and I maintain that, and I want them to give me honorable discharge.
Well, we respect that. Why was David helping you with ISI then? Why that introduction? What was going on there?
The business that he is using his personal things to get me a favor because he is my friend,
Okay.
and he is helping the ISI and those people to work together or something. Then he tells me. Your question was what he was talking to.
Yeah.
He said, I talked about you,
Okay.
and then they made a call to me,
Okay.
and they said, doctor, give me your PA number and give me the unit you went from,
Okay.
and when in circumstances, I'm not sure if I gave him because it's a major,
That's
it's
fine.
not possible. If I gave, it would be a weak point of my life, but I think I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't do it.
Well, tell me more about what David did with ISI. What other things did he tell you?
According to him, that this guy is more of a, oh yes, Bala talked to me about, no, he's an ISI talking to me, helping some politician to set up meat plants in Pakistan.
Okay.
Now, if he's a professional guy, he should be talking about something else. But he's talking to me that I have a friend in that city and he wants to make a meat plant or gold plant or this and that. And I told them I'm going to China. I'll go see the equipment because it's very expensive here. And in China, once I buy those, and then I'll come back and I'm going to Australia, New Zealand, then I'll tell you what to do. Now they were offering me, even we are not in, they were with Musharraf. Now after the Musharraf departure, they lost the elections.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that we are not in power at the moment. We are still okay and we can do you favors. I said that's why I left Pakistan.
Okay.
That is the very reason I have worked hard. I want to stand on my own feet. I don't want any favor. That's the sole problem I have with Pakistan. If I have earned something, give me. If I don't give it to me. So then he became a little angry that I didn't show him a lot of respect.
Okay.
But Bala was talking business to me while he is representing ISI, and now when he says, give me your PA number, it is more into the line of, non-professional.
Well, we're more concerned about what David was doing with ISI. So tell us more about what David said he was doing with ISI.
I don't have a lot of details about which I can recollect, but he does mention that ISI thinks I'm working for them, and Lashkar thinks, I'm their friend and I'm much more into this thing.
Okay.
Lashkar doesn't know, probably, that he is, but ISI knows that he is.
Okay.
And that's what he was.
Let's stop for a second. We know David Headley has previously talked about in the online chat group you're part of, in the Abdelians chat group.
What is it?
The Abdelians, the chat
Abdalian.
group.
From your school.
Yes.
Abdalian.
Exactly.
Okay, no,
Abdalian.
He's
yeah.
actually posted
Yes.
the very comment that he is disposed towards violence
Yes.
for those individuals responsible for that cartoon.
He said they should be hanged, or what? I mean, the words like to that, death to them.
Yes.
Yeah, and he says
And then-
they should be, as I mentioned, that in the Prophet were in the Prophet's time, he would have been dealt with the death penalty.
That's correct.
Yes,
He
sir.
wrote that.
What does the term Khalid bin Walid mean to you?
What's that?
The term Khalid bin Walid.
Khalid bin Walid is a general in Islamic history, and he is, known as somebody who.
Undefeated. He's one of the best generals in the history of the world. Very, very successful.
I have labeled some people. When I'm happy, I say, oh, this is a Khalid bin Walid
Okay.
of that, and I did say that to many people that, yes.
Did you ever say it to one of David's friends?
Yes,
Which one?
I did say. I said to Abraham.
Dr. Ibrahim?
Dr. Ibrahim.
Why did you call him that?
Okay, they had those operations in Kashmir, and they were very successful. And he told me that Dr. Ibrahim is very good and he has planned very well. I said, at this young age, you're telling me that he is so good. He's a Khalid bin Walid of that. So he needs to be praised. And tell him that call that this is a channel.
Who is this Dr. Ibrahim? Tell me about him.
He is a Lashkar-e-Taiba affiliate, and he works with them.
Okay. What does he do for them?
Specifically, I have not, but they are the main, like Hafiz. I don't know the name of the chain people in between, but what he mentions to me, he said that this guy is very intelligent and he plans things and all that. Probably involved in training of the people. They have
Which people?
Pakistan people.
Pakistan people?
100,000 or something
For what purpose were they trained?
for the liberation of Kashmir,
Okay.
so that they can, freedom fighters,
Sure.
they call them, yeah.
So it's Dr. Ibrahim.
Yeah.
You laid with Khalid bin Walid.
Yes.